Today we will start third chapter, which is scattering theory of particles. I hope by knowledge of atomic and molecular physics or in that subject you have already discussed what is scattering. That is, I think you have discussed about Rutherford's alpha scattering experiment. So you have idea that what is exactly scattering. So scattering will be performed, or scattering takes place in two ways. The first is either it is a elastic scattering or inelastic scattering. So in this chapter we will put a light on elastic and inelastic scattering, as well as laboratory frame of reference and center of mass frame. So here first we will study introduction to elastic and inelastic scattering, that is what is elastic scattering and what is inelastic scattering. So first we will discuss about elastic scattering. So elastic scattering means the scattering process is said to be elastic if the total kinetic energy, now today onwards I will use K dot E, capital Ke, to denote kinetic energy. So the scattering process is said to be elastic if total kinetic energy of all the particles before collision or scattering is equal to total kinetic energy after scattering. What does this exactly means? This means if suppose there are two particles which are scattered, which are collide on each other, and after collision they got scattered away from each other. So in this process the total kinetic energy before their collision will be equal to total kinetic energy after the collision or after the scattering. That is, there is conservation of kinetic energy. So this elastic scattering occurs only if there is no conversion of kinetic energy into other form. Means in some cases there is a conversion of kinetic energy in the sound, light and heat. Means if there is collision between two objects or two particles, after scattering there is the emission of light, then sound, some sort of sound is created, and also heat energy is created. So the kinetic energy is converted into this different form of energy. So in case of elastic scattering this is not the case. Means in elastic scattering there is no conversion of kinetic energy into its another forms, and also here kinetic energy as well as momentum, means not only kinetic energy is conserved, the momentum of a particles or objects before collision and after collision are same. Means momentum is also conserved. Means in the elastic scattering there is conservation of kinetic energy as well as momentum. And why this is so? Because there is no conversion of the kinetic energy into its other forms. Therefore this type of scattering is known as elastic scattering. So to denote this in mathematical form we will consider two particles, and I will denote those particles by a notation 1 and 2. So 1 and 2 are the notation to denote those particles. Now let's say M1 and m2 are the masses of these two particles. So I have considered two particles with mass m1 and m2 respectively, and we will consider u1 and u2 as a velocity of particles m1 and m2 respectively, and these velocities are before the collision, because the velocities are going to change after the collision. Therefore, we will need two different notation for the velocities. So before collision, the velocities I am considering as u1 and u2, and also for after collision those velocities are v1 and v2. So v1 and v2s are velocities of particles m1 and m2 respectively after the collision. So I hope you got idea what notations we have used. So here u1 and u2 are velocities of particle m1 and m2 respectively before collision, and v1 and v2 are velocities after collision. Now if I am saying that there is conservation of momentum and conservation of kinetic energy, what does this means? First we will see conservation of kinetic energy. So first we will discuss about the conservation of total momentum. If total momentum is conserved, what this means? This means that total momentum before the collision and after the collision are equal. Okay. Now I hope you know what is formula to calculate momentum. Momentum is product of mass and velocity, means m into v, mass into velocity, is nothing but the momentum. Now conservation of momentum implies me that total momentum before the collision must be equal to total momentum after the collision. So we have considered two particles, so we will have two momentums before collision and also two momentums after collision. So here there are velocities before the collision and after the collision. So what will be momentum of a first particle before collision? It will be m1 u1, and what about second particle? It is m2 u2, and total means addition of these two momentums. So here m1 u1 plus m2 u2, this is the total momentum before the collision. So this is total momentum before collision, and if m1 v1 plus m2 v2, this will represent total momentum after the collision. So these both momentums must be equal, then only momentum is conserved, and this is the case for elastic scattering. Means when this equation is satisfied, there is a elastic scattering. And not only this, the conservation of kinetic energy should also take place. Means there will be conservation of two physical quantity. One is the momentum and another is a kinetic energy. Now kinetic energy is given by half m into square of velocity, that is half m v square. Now what does conservation of kinetic energy implies me? It implies me that total kinetic energy before collision must be equal to total kinetic energy after the collision. This means the total kinetic energy before collision is given by half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. So this is the total kinetic energy before collision. This must be equal to total kinetic energy after the collision, which is given by half m1 v1 square, because v1 and v2 are final, that is velocities after collision, and u1 and u2 are velocities before the collision. So total kinetic energy is addition of half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. So this is what total kinetic energy after the collision, and these two when are equal, then there is conservation of kinetic energy. And the scattering in which these both cases or both conditions are satisfied, such scattering is known as the elastic scattering. And one more thing that should be noted, as in case of elastic scattering, the internal nature or internal structure of the particle does not changes. That is, the colliding particles will remain intact, means there is no change in the internal structure of a particles, means arrangement of a atom in the particle or molecules, arrangement of a molecules in that particle is not changed. A better example is, there is, if you do collision of two balls, tennis ball or whichever, cricket ball, so if you do collision of those two balls, there is no change in the internal structure of those balls. So this is the main thing in case of elastic scattering. So you have to notice that, or you have to keep it in mind, that the internal nature or the structure of a particle does not changes. That is, the colliding particles will remain intact in case of this elastic scattering. Now let's discuss what happens in inelastic scattering. Inelastic scattering means, in this case, the total kinetic energy of the colliding body is not conserved. This means what? That total kinetic energy before the collision will not be equal to total kinetic energy after the collision. This means that energy is taken up by other processes, means there will happen some other processes and the energy is lost due to these processes. For example, when there is the collision of two large bodies, at least some amount of heat and sound is produced, right? For example, if there is accident of two large containers, then what will happen? There will be creation of some sound as well as heat, or sometimes there is creation of light also. So the initial kinetic energy, that is some part of initial kinetic energy, is converted into this another form, that is heat, sound or light. In such processes, in these processes, some part of kinetic energy is lost in this another form, that is heat, sound or light. Therefore, we have to consider this loss into account while using law of conservation of energy. So if we consider same particles m1 and m2 and initial velocities, that is before collision velocities are u1 and u2, and after collision velocities are v1 and v2 as like previous. So here, if we have to write the conservation of kinetic energy, there is not, kinetic energy is not conserved, means we can't write here half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square equals to half m1 v1 square plus half m2 v2 square. So this can't be equal, means there is no conservation of kinetic energy. So if we have to write this in the form of conservation of energy, means instead of this not equal to sign, if we have to write sign which gives me equal to, that is half m1 u1 square plus half m2 u2 square. If here we have to write equal to sign, then there is conversion of some part of initial kinetic energy into another form of kinetic energy, which are heat, sound or light. Therefore, if we are writing here equal to sign, then I must add one term which will give me the conversion of this initial kinetic energy into heat and other form of the kinetic energy, and that term I am going to take as a Q. Now what this Q will implies me that Q will give me the amount of energy lost during the collision. So this Q will give me amount of kinetic energy which is lost or converted into the sound, heat or another form. So this is the case in case of inelastic scattering. Now here also linear momentum is conserved in this case. We can't say that angular momentum is also conserved. Means in case of momentum there is no conservation. There is only conservation of linear momentum. So here linear momentum is conserved in case of inelastic scattering also. Means in both scattering, elastic and inelastic scattering, linear momentum is conserved, but the kinetic energy in case of inelastic scattering is not conserved, while it is conserved in case of elastic scattering. Now here you have to note that there may be the change in internal nature or structure of colliding particles, while in case of elastic scattering there was no change in the internal nature or structure of colliding particles. So this is the big difference between both elastic and inelastic scattering. Now what does this Q means me? Q implies me the amount of energy which is lost or converted into another form. Now there may be two cases that this Q can be positive or it can be negative. So let's see what happens when there is its nature is positive and its nature is negative. Now here this Q represent me the change in kinetic energy. Means there is change in initial kinetic energy, so which is given by initial kinetic energy minus final kinetic energy, that is subtraction of kinetic energy before the collision and after the collision. So when that Q is less than 0, that is negative, when the value of Q, that is amount of energy, change in energy is negative, then this implies me that final kinetic energy of two particles is greater than their initial kinetic energy. Means in this case the final kinetic energy is greater. That means there is the difference which comes to be negative, and this negative sign implies me that energy is released or lost in this process. So this negative change of kinetic energy implies me that there is loss of kinetic energy, and this process is named as exoergic. Exo means loss or removal or released of energy. Ergic means energy and exo means removal or exist, that is loss of energy. Now when this kinetic energy is positive, that is it is greater than 0, this means that final kinetic energy of two particles is less than their initial kinetic energy. When this final kinetic energy is less and initial kinetic energy is more, this change in kinetic energy, that is Q, will be positive. And when this change in kinetic energy is positive, this implies me that there is the absorption of energy, that is energy is absorbed in this process, and this process is named as endoergic process. Ergic means energy and endo means it is taken. So endoergic means absorption of energy. So these are the two processes, that is either your scattering, when it is inelastic scattering, then the process will be either exoergic or endoergic. So this was the introduction to elastic and inelastic scattering.